Hello, my name is Weasel and welcome to Armored Warfare, and today we'll be looking at the Wolf Pack Collector's Edition and the vehicles individually, on how good they are, how much they cost, and should you be interested in getting them to your collection. And let's start off checking the vehicles that we have here in the collection. And they'll be thinking about the pricing and what you actually get, and then we'll have some gameplay of each and every single vehicle individually to see how they play. I do not have these Wolf vehicles, but they all are existing tanks in the game with premium benefits. So you can already play these tanks, and chances are you've already played a couple of them at least. So the first vehicle of this pack is the BMD-2, which is a tier 5 armored fighting vehicle. In my experience, it's okay, it's pretty decent, kind of fun-ish, none of my favorite tanks, but it's okay. Then we have the Centauro 120, which is something that I actually haven't ever played, but I have played the Centauro, which plays quite the same. Then we have the Weasel 1, which is one of the funnest small armored fighting vehicles that I know. And then we have the King, the Challenger 1, which is one of probably my favorite tanks in the whole game as of moment. But let's check out the pricing. You can get these individually, every single tank, or you can buy the Wolf Pack. I see what you did there. Very clever, the Wolf Pack. Ding ding. So, you can buy the BMD-2 for a price of 3,000 gold, and you will be getting a free 30% reputation and credit boost for 7 days. You can buy the Centauro 120 with 7,000 gold and get the 30% free XP and reputation boost for a week. And the Weasel 1 for 7,000 and you get the same boost, and the Challenger with the same boost and the same price tag. Now, how much money is 7,000 gold exactly? Well, if you are planning to buy, the closest amount of money, the closest amount of gold, because you do have to buy it with gold. You can't, to my knowledge, buy it with directly money. You have to buy gold, which is very clever, because you can't buy directly 7,000 gold. So you pretty much have to go with 16,500 gold if you wanna buy this, cause the 5,500 is not enough unless you already have gold on your account. But hey, let's say you wanna buy a bit more and you might be using it later and so forth. What is the actual price of this one tank if you wanna buy a 7,000 gold tank? Well, that is a bit over 25 euros, something around that. 25 euros? That is pretty expensive, especially for a tank that is already in the game. It is there already. It's not like a new tank that you haven't ever seen. No, the Challenger, the Weasel, and the Centauro 120 is tanks that you can already play in the game, and you might already have them, and you can, with half the price, upgrade them to be these pseudo premium vehicles. Although you do get, I do believe you get more benefits if it's like a full-fledged premium vehicle than having it to be like the pseudo premium, and you do get this free credits and reputation bonus for a whole week that you can activate whenever you feel like activating it. So take it as you will, but I personally feel like that that's not cheap. Well, you do get a unique camouflage, but yeah, honestly, it's got that wolf head on it. I have 2 of the ice vehicles, the ice pack vehicles, whatever they were called. Those are like, well, I kinda like the camo, but now that there is a a custom camo system in the game, it doesn't play so much of a factor, especially because I can't change the goddamn camo on it. I'm stuck with the ice camo. I can't change it to anything else. If I'm on a desert map, too bad, you're in a snow camo. Not changing that. And the bear head that is in there and the wolf head that is in here, too bad if you don't like it. It's gonna stay there and you can't do anything about it. I feel like it should be some kind of that you can turn off if you want, but it's not a decal or something like that. It's a paint shop. You can't get it off even if you want it. So you don't have the option to do that. But hey, if you want to go a little bit cheaper and maybe you want a tier 5 BMD2 and maybe you played it and you liked it very much and you might want to get it as a premium vehicle, it costs the 3,000 gold. How much is that? Roughly in money. Well, you can get 2,750 gold for the price of 1129. So it's gonna be a little bit more than that. Let's say 12-13 euros. Well, that's not too bad. It's not huge amount of money, but it's not free either. But you do get the same 1 week free reputation and credit bonus. So I feel like that is more reasonably priced than around a 25 euro vehicle. But of course, if you do buy that 27,500 gold, obviously it's gonna get a little bit cheaper because you get that quote-unquote bonus gold in the deal. So I feel like the BMD2 at tier 5 is more reasonable than the 7,000 gold on a tier 7 vehicle. It just feels quite a lot of money. I mean, hell, I can buy on Steam like 5 games with that money, which are pretty good. So yeah. But let's check the Wolf Pack, the ultimate deal. The 20,000 gold. Now you will be getting all these 4 vehicles, and if you count them together, it's already a bargain. How come? Well, 7,000, 7,000, 7,000 plus 3,000 gold sums up to 24,000 gold, so you'll be already winning a 4,000 gold, which is a bit less than 20 euros, which is, I guess, a bargain of itself. But you will be getting, instead of a 30% boost, you will be getting a 50% boost on your credits and reputation for 28 days. So all in all, this is a better deal. You'll be getting these tanks cheaper and you'll be getting a better boost out of it. But I don't know if it's just a single boost for 28 days, which is not as great as individual boosts that you can activate whenever you want. Of course, you can activate the 28 days whenever you want, but there's gonna be days that you don't want to play the game. Maybe you are on a vacation in somewhere, on a cottage or in a different country, whatever, business trip, anything. You can't play the game, the bonus is pretty much wasted. But that's the same with premium time, so I won't be nitpicking that too much. But of course, in this pack and if you play it individually as well, you will be getting these tanks at level 5 crew. So when it says plus 10 stats on everyone, it just means that they are level 5 crew instead of level 1 when you get these vehicles in your garage. And that's, I guess, a little life improvement, and you can get the crew skills right out of the gate and you don't have to grind them. But still, 20,000 gold. That's more than 70 euros. That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot of money. But if you have just started the game, I feel like this kind of pack is okay. So you get some premium vehicles and boosters and stuff like that to, make you rolling. But if you're new, I would far rather suggest that you buy one of those collector's edition bundles, like the Operation Lightning or Typhoon, or maybe even the Emperor edition, because it gives you a lot of premium time. It gives you, well, not as good activatable credit and reputation bonuses, but it gives you gold, it gives you a lot of credits, and it gives you a bunch of premium vehicles. The Typhoon isn't that great in my experience, because the actual Typhoon 2 tank destroyer is not very good vehicle. Or, I guess you can do well in it, but it's not very fun tank. At least I haven't found it very fun. So yeah, you might find it, I didn't. But the Operation Lightning, however, is a very neat package. I really like the RDF light tank. Not so good in PvP, unless you are a very good experienced player. But in PvE, it's a really fun tank. This is one of the funnest tanks I have played in the game. It's really fast and very rapid firing cannon, which is not like an auto cannon, but it's like still a cannon. But if you are a new player, I would actually suggest buying the Operation Lightning if you are digging the game, because you will be getting 60 days of premium time, 3 million credits, and 3,250 gold, and also 1 week of extra reputation and credit earned, as well as the RDF light tank. And it won't be so expensive, it's only 35 euros. Well, you can say that, yeah, but it doesn't include all those, tanks. It doesn't include so many tanks. It's got only one tank, and it's only tier 6. Yeah, true. The Wolf Pack has tier 7 vehicles, but yeah, I just kind of feel like if you are new to the game, maybe you don't want to jump into the tier 7 right out the gate, because you're gonna get obliterated, because you don't know how the game works, and so on. It feels a bit odd. And if you are a seasoned veteran, you probably already have these tanks in your garage, and honestly, I don't even think the camo looks that cool. Well, you could say that the mercenary camo is very similar, and it is. But even that, I feel like, is a little bit cooler than these. Ugh. But if you are interested in these vehicles regardless, maybe money is not a problem for you and you just want a premium vehicle and you don't like the existing premium vehicles that are in the game, and perhaps you haven't played these vehicles and you just want to have a quick snippet on how they function and how they play, well, we're gonna take a look at that. So here we are in the BMD2. It's, I feel like, a pretty decent looking vehicle, especially on these desert camouflages. I don't even have any camouflage pattern, but it does look pretty neat nonetheless. So we'll be seeing just how it does in just pretty casual gameplay, really. Let's just speed up the game and get right into the action. And Of course, it is an armored fighting vehicle, so you have the target designation. It's got the autocannon as well as the separate missile tube. And it's, I feel like, very decent tank. Gunner depression is okay, mobility okay. It's very decent tank. I didn't personally feel like that it has anything huge or major behind it. Its DPM is reasonably good, cause it's got the autocannon installed. And there's the only really weak point about this vehicle is the total lack of armor. It doesn't have any. The good points is that, well, it's an armored fighting vehicle. Armored fighting vehicles are generally, I feel like, pretty fun to play. And even for an armored fighting vehicle, it is quite small. It's not like Weasel or anything like that, which are like tiny tanks. But the BMT-2 still, for a tank, it's very small. Or an armored fighting vehicle. And it just rips apart these weasels and all targets that don't have armor. It just shreds them. And the missiles are pretty good as well. They're not bad. The DPM is horrendous, but hell, if you can pop the missile like this and then switch in midair to the cannon and finish them off. I didn't have time to finish them off, but you can actually deal a ridiculous amount of damage in very short burst. But this is really the kind of gameplay you will have to develop in a BMD2. You have to kinda stay a bit behind if you wanna conserve your hit points. Of course, you can use your mobility to really like motor out and get all the spots. But then you're very vulnerable and you can't kind of, unless you have lightning reflexes, you can't really shoot your opponents while doing so. And in PvP, if there are accurate enemies, you're done for. So I personally tend to just sit here, try to have the maximum range possible while still being able to spot the enemies and not be spotted myself. Or if I am spotted, try to have a position where I can safely fall back to cover. But I believe that is all you need to know about the BMD2. Let's try to keep this very brief and take a look at the next vehicle. And here we have a B1 Centauro instead of the Centauro 120, and that is just because I'm a scrub and I don't have to be the Centauro 120 yet. But it's essentially the same vehicle, except in here we just have these armored skirts or plates in here, the turret and the side of the hull. But with the cost of a smaller gun. This is a 105mm gun, and the Centauro 120 has obviously a 120mm gun. So yeah, they pretty much are the same. The B1 has better protection, which is almost non-existent unless you hit these parts that are extra armors. Other than that, you don't have any armor. And the B1 has a decently punchy gun. It does punch its ticket very efficiently, I feel. But the Centauro 120 is even more efficient at doing so, which is very well, the only thing you want to be doing in your tank destroyers. Hitting there with almost 600 shots is quite regular for the B1, and the Centauro 120 is even better at that than the B1. And they're decently accurate. They're almost the same. The gun handling is a little bit better in the B1 because it is a lighter gun after all. But yeah, the Centauro 120 does carry a lot bigger gun, so it makes a very, very devastating mess every single time it hits the target. And these vehicles are decently fast, and the fact that they are rolling with 8 wheels means that it's not as fiddly to drive in these tanks. Because when you're driving with a vehicle that has only like 4 wheels, 2 on each side, you can flip your tank like around very easily, and if you have 8, it's not happening almost ever. It's still a wheeled vehicle, which makes your life just a little bit hard, but yeah, it's like a pseudo-wheeled feeling, kinda. It's not as great as a fully tracked vehicle, but it's workable. But yeah, enough of the Centauro. Let's take a look at the Weasel. Okay, so here we have the Weasel armored fighting vehicle, which is one of the fastest and funniest vehicles I have played in the game. It's not the best vehicle I have played, and not even close, but it is definitely one of the funniest vehicles I have played, because it has very good mobility, and its maneuverability is what sets it apart from the other similar kind of vehicles, because the Fox and the VBL are wheeled. Even though they're like super fast, they are very fiddly. But this is a tracked vehicle. It does its job very efficiently, very efficiently, and it feels so good to drive in. And it is fast. Even though it has tracks, it goes fast. You really don't have to worry about your mobility. It is just, yeah, it is a very nice tank. I was a bit hesitant when I was going through the Fox and then the VBL. I was like, is it gonna be like this the whole way through? But the Weasel, I have only played a couple of games in it, but the games I have played in it are just really fun. I feel like this is like one of those pleasure tanks that you just go out and have fun in. And you know what, if you have it as a premium, you're gonna make an absolute ton of credits while doing so. So yeah, the Weasel, I feel like this could be a popular thing. Just look at it go. It just turns, traverses, goes forward, accelerates so fast. It's actually decently good at shooting on the move, even without any retrofits installed. Although this is the worst gun, I don't have any upgrades on it. It is just a fun vehicle to drive in. And the DPM really is there. Even though this is the worst DPM you can get on this tank, level 1 crew, no retrofits, the worst ammunition, the worst gun, it still rips its opponents apart very efficiently. And it's got only like 5.5 seconds of reloading. It's a beast. It's a really big beast. Or well, actually a tiny beast. It's a tiny beast or a big beast in a tiny body. But I guess that's enough of the Weasel, and bring out the big boys, the Challenger 1. Holy shit, that is just... yeah, that's like the real man pants are on when you drive the Challenger. So yes, the model itself I feel like is beautiful. It has a lot of details in it, and overall it just looks so manly. From the front, sides and behind, any way you look at it, it is just a manly package. And in addition to looking manly and so on, it's a really damn good vehicle. It's just a damn efficient at, shrugging off damage and even dealing the damage itself. I haven't even beefed up my Challenger because the retrofits and everything just simply cost so much. But I just have so much fun driving this tank. It doesn't have the best gun available, but even though I feel like its reload and its relatively good accuracy and stuff like that is just perfect. It doesn't have the huge alpha damage, but I guess it's very consistent in everything that it does. It's kinda slowish, but it's not super slow. I guess the acceleration could be a little bit better, but I feel like it's not like tediously slow. And the protection, oh my god, I tried to, in this replay, to just kinda get in up close and personal to just eat those shots and just really go ham. I really tried to just go on out there and just eat as many shots as I can, and they just don't penetrate, or some of them does, mostly HE, but yeah, this tank just rolls. Stingrays, everything, not as not a problem. Only that the Stingray 2 does to me from here is that it just blows my tracks off. Nothing, not a single point of damage taken. And I feel like even the Challenger turns surprisingly fast. It's not a fast turner, but as main battle tanks go, it's not bad. It's not super slow or anything. And when you get into these kind of positions, there's very little that the enemies can do. And that's 3 tiers higher main battle tank, although it's a PvE game, so yeah. But he managed to penetrate me somewhere. I have no idea where. Is it there? Might be that. So yeah, probably got penetrated there, but other than that, it's just very efficient package. Let's just speed it up just a little bit. Got into a duel with a Thunderbolt. Doesn't care. Just chase him. And then we have numerous opponents. I'm here and this A1 Abrams just, assist me as best he can. But we have like a Leopard 2 A6, Stingray 2, M1 Abrams, Bradley, and they can't do anything with AP. It's like the HE is the only thing that's penetrating. Of course, if these would be player controlled, they would try to hit my cupola or get to my sides and rear. But even the sides are pretty strong in this vehicle. And you just shrug off so much damage, you just eat it, you can take it so well. And just slowly punish them for engaging you. And that is the Challenger in a nutshell. You just shrug off damage like it's nothing. You are almost impervious to damage, and the Challenger is just because of that one of my favorite tanks, because it really makes you feel like a superb vehicle that is just unstoppable. And that is something that I could think about getting as a premium vehicle, but other than that, there's not a lot of reasoning, I feel like, to get it. It feels like I don't know why I would wanna buy any of these tanks, because I already have fun playing with them. in the regular versions. But I would make a lot of credits and reputation by playing with their premium versions. But they just cost so much. They just cost so incredibly much that I don't know if it's worth like 20 to 30 euros. So yeah, the Wolfpack vehicles. Personally, not too keen on them. I feel like if they would cut down the price by a bit, it would be more acceptable. Because as of now, they cost so much. Like incredibly much. For vehicles that is already in the game. It just feels so off-putting. But I guess if a money is no problemo to you, well, yeah, then I guess go for it if these vehicles are your cup of tea. But minor correction. If you want to upgrade, for instance, the Challenger to the battle-hardened status, it costs you 2,700 gold. It won't be quite as good as a real premium vehicle. It's not a real premium. It's a kind of pseudo premium. But it's around the price. A third, not quite, but almost a third of the price tag. So personally, if I would ever want to really just grind Challenger 1 or any of these vehicles to death, I would just get the battle hardened on them and get a cool ass camo on them, because it will just look better. It's customizable, because you cannot customize your like Wolfpack vehicles outside of decals, but the camos and everything, nope. Sorry, can't do. They are what they are. You gotta live with that. So, yeah, I'm not too impressed. Not too impressed at all. But, yeah, I guess you have to draw your own conclusions out of them. But personally, not impressed at all. So that wraps up the Wolfpack vehicles. That's an incredibly clever name. But yeah, hope this has been of use to you and informational and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I hope I'll see you in the next video.